Everyone likes to argue about what type of sorceress kicks the most ass. One could say that Blizzard Sorc is still king, or queen. To be completely honest, they're all very good, and it really comes down to what areas you'd like to farm. Do you want to be face deep in Mephisto's ass cloud, or would you rather be thrusting around in the icy cellars? If you're still unsure, I hope after watching this video you can finally make up your mind. I'll be going over most of the main skills with the budget and mid to late game gear setup. For budget testing, I'll be using a Spirit Sword, a Spirit Monarch, and a Lore Helm. This will give us a total of +5 to all skills. Let's start with the fan favorite, the Blizzard Sorceress. Normally, Blizzard Sorcs farm Mephisto and Ancient Tunnels, which are both fairly safe spots while you're getting her up and chilling. If you'd like to moat trick Hell Meph until your eyes turn blue, it's probably one of the most efficient skills to use. From my testing with the budget setup, moat tricking Mephisto with Blizzard and Ice Blast from 100 to sub-0
Fatality
took an average of 13 to 14 seconds. While using Hydra and Fireball with the same gear setup, the average Meph kill was around 19 to 20 seconds. However, there's a few tricks that a Hydra Sorc can take advantage of that a Blizzard Sorc can't. Let's first start off by comparing Cold Mastery to Fire Mastery. Cold Mastery only pierces the enemy's cold res, while Fire Mastery increases all fire damage caused by your fire spells. A good rule of thumb is to never take Cold Mastery over 100% pierce. So technically, the more plus skills you have into Fire Mastery, it will slowly but surely start to outscale a Cold Sorc. By the way, if you lower res Mephisto with the lower res wand, the average kill time on Meph while using Hydra and Fireball is around 10 seconds. You can shop one of these from Drognin in Act 2 Nightmare. I know lower resing Mephisto is an extra step while you moat trick him, but Hydra and Fireball kills him faster than Blizzard and Ice Blast does. There's also a few other benefits while using Hydra. Mage Fist gloves can be easy to come by, and they give you +1 to fire skills. You can also take advantage of the brand new rune word, the Flickering Flame, which gives +3 to fire skills, -13% to enemy fire resistance, and gives you a level 8 resist fire aura when equipped. Many players may or may not brush over how important the resist fire aura actually is. You no longer will need to use a pair of Alder's boots to cover your missing fire res, and the Flickering Flame pairs well with the Spirit Monarch since that shield doesn't provide any fire resistance. You can also take advantage of a few of the brand new level 85 zones, such as the Stony Tombs in Act 2 and the Icy Cellars in Act 5. There's no fire immunities in there. A retested Meph with the mid to late game gear setup. This is actually my favorite Magic Find go-to build. I use the 3-piece towels, the armor, the belt, and the amulet, Shaco, Oculus, Ward Traps, 1 SOJ, a Ravenfrost, and a Spirit Monarch. You could also take advantage of an Ashuda's Temper for lightning and fire skill setups. Death's Fathom is an alternative option if you're all in on cold, but finding one may be a huge task on its own. In conclusion, Hydra is only about 1 second faster than Blizzard without using a lower res wand with this mid to late game gear setup, so honestly, pick whatever skill you prefer. I'm not a huge fan of hybrid setups. I like farming specific areas in the game that my build excels in. But I can understand that some players like to do it all. In this case, making a hybrid Hydra Frozen Orb setup is the build for you. It's really up to you on which side of the tree you'd like to focus more of your points into. If you want a stronger Frozen Orb, then focus your points into the cold tree, and vice versa. This setup might not be the most efficient, but you will be able to pretty much clear anything you come across on your P1 solo journey. Going all in on a Frozen Orb setup is one of my favorite Sorc builds in the game, but personally, I don't feel like it's very budget friendly. It is, however, very efficient if you can keep your Merc alive while he tanks for you. Exploding your blue balls inside the enemy will give you the most damage output, but it's easier said than done. Last but not least, we have the 200 FCR Nova Sorceress. You shouldn't be boss farming with this build, at least in the early stages. But if you like farming player 8 cows or the pits in Act 1, this is one of the most efficient builds you can play with endgame gear. The Nova Sorc does have some cons, however. It's obviously not as safe because you're going to be in the front lines the majority of the time. And I'm 99% sure that every Sorc on the B net will be gearing for this endgame setup, which will make some of the core items very expensive. After all of my testing, I'd probably start as a Blizzard Sorceress, respec into Hydra, dabble around with Frozen Orb if I ever get bored, but save up all of my currency and hopefully one day I can be that 200 FCR Lightning Sorc that everybody sees zoom by. As always, my opinion is worth everything you paid for, which is free. And thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed this style of content, please don't forget to like and sub to the channel. I'm hoping I can hork one or two out of you.